Pete Marr here for B-Sides. I'm at Outside Lands 2024, and I am so stoked to have one of the amazing performers join us, Katie Pruitt.
Hello, good to be here.
Welcome back to San Francisco.
Man, it's good to be here.
It's been a bit.
I love this city. Yeah, it has been a bit. I mean, we did a headline run back in like April, and we hit Bimbo's 365, which I love that venue. And we actually just opened for Sturgill 2 nights ago there. And he's headlining this stage tonight. So it's going to be cool to see him again.
Every festival is curated to the region. But in a way, it has to have those familiar names as well.
For sure.
You're playing on the same day as Chapel Rowan.
Yeah.
How does it feel when you tell people, okay, I'm in the festival circuit and I'm on the same day? I'm very curious how artists take to that. Like,
I mean, it's amazing. It's also, like a lot of lineups don't always include, first of all, it's very male heavy.
Yep.
And second of all, it's not as like queer and it's not as they can be not as diverse. So it's cool to see a lineup that's a little more diverse, and I'm in Nashville singing about the queer experience, and she's like much more global with it.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to like get to sing about the queer experience in San Francisco on the same day as Chapel and some of my other favorite artists. So yeah, I'm honored.
And San Francisco obviously has been a beacon for a lot of the queer community for eons, right?
Yeah.
I think pretty much groundbreaking back in the day, and now has continued to set forth that path. Yeah. And you're a part of that here.
Yeah, it's very cool to be a part of it. That's all I've ever wanted, and I just am appreciative of the opportunity.
Here at a festival, people will pass by and be like, all right, what's this girl with this guitar singing about here?
Yeah.
And so how do you approach that? How do you curate a set that is inclusive and gives some education as well?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my songs have a lot of information packed in them, but at a festival you don't always know if everyone's like honing into the lyrics or not. So really, I just want it to be fun. Yeah. Like I want people to like be like, oh, this is a vibe, and kind of float towards the stage and like stay and kind of check it out. And if they get something deeper out of it, amazing.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't want to push that on people. Yeah. I'm just kind of up there trying to rip guitar and talk about, the queer agenda a little bit and belt some notes, That's what I'm here for. So.
Yeah. Your music definitely fits here in San Francisco and the Bay Area in general. Congrats on the latest album, Mantras.
Thank you.
It's so good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's certainly an evolution, a maturation, and also a continuation, I feel, of the story you set forth with your debut and Expectations.
Yeah, for sure. It's like me, but older. Me, but like 3 or 4 years older.
Right. With Expectations setting the table in terms of introducing who Katie is in 2020 in the middle of a pandemic.
Right.
Where people had their own, demons to sort out and work through, and now coming to terms with it. This album really speaks to that inner self.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I think we all had to kind of sit with ourselves a lot more than we thought in 2020 and kind of beyond, and yeah, I feel like all of us, I had to sort of sort through a lot of like inner self-worth and like self-talk, and like therapy helped me through that. My friends helped me through that, and then that kind of ended up just coming to the surface in my songwriting of like, okay, how do I be kind to myself? Because like that's at the end of the day, like if you're not kind to yourself, it's harder to like pass that on to others. So so Mantras is like, speak to yourself kindly, and that'll probably permeate outwards as well.
With Expectations, starting there, telling your story and talking about all the struggles and things like that, I feel like you could have made 5 albums worth of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you write like a stack full of songs, and obviously you pruned those down to the album, but then was there any thought of those trickling into this album? Like how
there were a couple outliers from Expectations days, but I would say most of the songs got written from 2021 and onward. I think 2020 was such a crazy year.
Yeah.
And with the record coming out that year and being in a pandemic, and then like the Black Lives Matter, there was just a lot of overstimulation. I think songs weren't as I wasn't as able to write songs that year. So I think from 2021 onward is kind of when Mantras started to sort of reveal itself to me.
You referenced therapy. I'm sure it's been ongoing for a number of years. How do you discern when you are going through therapy, writing your thoughts for a song versus, in theory, writing things for a journal and expressing yourself in that manner? How do you delineate that line?
That's a good question. Sometimes I feel like trial and error, you know, just writing as many songs as I can and then being like, you know, maybe that's a little too personal.
Yeah.
But I feel like I like to go more personal than not, because I do feel like in a lot of ways the personal is universal. I think we all, we're a lot more similar than we think as humans. You know, we all have similar thoughts about like identity and, you know, love and loss and grief and growing up, and all of these themes, they're human themes, you know. They're not even necessarily all the time queer themes or so I try to veer on the side of more personal. So a lot of the times you'll be listening to a record of mine and it might kind of feel like a journal entry, and I want it to be that way, you know. Was
there a particular song on the album that started off as a very personal, journal entry-esque?
There's a song called Jealous of the Boys that like is a song I never thought I'd write about, that feeling, which is just kind of feeling like, you know, this inferiority complex to the patriarchy. I mean, we live in a patriarchy. It's changing, and it's like, you know, there's females that are like just absolutely dominating right now, like Chappell Roan and like Charlie XCX, and you know, there's a movement right now, there's a reason for that. Because it's a response to feeling like silenced and feeling like not enough for a really long time. So Jealous of the Boys is kind of my version of talking about that topic. And yeah, it's just about like, man, like I'm jealous of how easy it comes for a lot of dudes that I know and how much harder I feel like I have to work for things.
Right.
Yeah.
In a way, I think I read a quote where it's like your way of trying to convey, I wish I was normal, quote unquote.
Yeah, right. Like, what does that even mean?
Right, which is exactly.
It's a made-up construct.
You know, I am an ally.
Right.
I am cisgender.
Yeah.
But I relate because as an Asian person, to fit into a white norm society and things, right? On camera and the business side of things, in the you know, in the conference room and whatnot, the white voices always get heard, and it's like, you know, all right, well, you know, do we really want this Asian guy on camera? Why don't we get the white girl on?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So
that's true. We're always
not the
fighting.
same, but there's always something.
There's absolutely similarities of just feeling othered at all in general in a society that like typically, you know, white males are everywhere.
Yeah, right? Congratulations on this album.
Thank you.
I am so stoked for you. I feel like there are big things coming. I mean, if not already, you know.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm playing Outside Lands. I can't complain. So I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know?
So great to meet you, and
Good
best of luck with everything.
Too. Yeah, thank you.
Katie Pruitt right here at Outside Lands with B-Sides.
Thanks.